Hey everybody, welcome back to Darvanalee Designs Studio. For those that don't know, my name's Nicole Reed and today we are here for a sewing tutorial and also some advent openings. So if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you won't miss out on any future posts. So, and if you're a returning viewer, subscriber, thank you so much for being here. Alright, so it is Saturday and I know that I am a couple of days late with my sewing tutorial, but one thing led to another this week and I got very busy and I just didn't get it done. And I had some issues with technology and I've still been having some issues with technology, but I think I'm on top of it now. I've upgraded my computer to Windows 11 and it seems to be not glitching anymore. So maybe that's what the problem was. Alright, but we're here for Advent opening. We have 3 Advents that we're opening today. We've got a mystery one, which has been quite amusing. We have our book one, and we also have our diamond painting one. So I'm going to start, as always, with the mystery one and see what we got today. We have established that it is very much for junk journaling, so it's always little bits and pieces that you can use for that. And it looks like we have some little bits of paper, like invites and little cards and like a transfer paper, I think that is, looks like, for some flowers. We've got some stuff out of books, little stickers, we've got cards, little bits of this and that. We've got some birds and we've got some receipts and all sorts of stuff we've got in this little bundle. So this is all stuff that you can use in the in your junk journal. So that is that one. Very interesting indeed. We've got some nice little stickers and cards and stuff in there this time as well. So a raffle ticket too. I wonder if that wins anything. See, purple. So yeah, we've got some little what are they called? Cardinals. So they're like they're almost like you can see through the paper, so you could probably put stuff behind it or whatnot. So yeah, so that's those ones. Alright, we'll set that aside. Oh. And the next one with our lovely luscious chocolate paper. We've had quite a few of these through the box. For those that are new here, I got an advent box from a book grocer and we get 24 books in our advent and we get to open one every day. And so far the books have been pretty good. There's only been one that I haven't been too sure about, but it'll probably turn out to be a really good book. I'm still going to read it. Alright. We have Paper Wasp. That is a cool cover. I love the colour of that one. So not as good as yesterday's one, but it's still pretty good. Beautiful sunset. Alright, so Paper Wasp by Lauren A. Campora. We'll go with that. It is a fiction. It is published by River Run Fiction. It was published in 2019. The print in it's pretty good. It's paperback obviously, and it has not too many pages in it by the looks of it. I think it's just under 300, so yeah, we've got 289 in pages. And yeah, so it's dark and brilliant. So someone says dark and brilliant, and she's a terrific writer. Barbed honesty, often a single sentence twist sinisterly. Oh, can't even get that out. It's very late in the day today, so I'm doing this bold and joyous. Alright, a electrifying debut novel of 2 women's friendship, haunting obsession, twisted ambition set against a sensuous backdrop of contemporary Hollywood. Ooh, sounds like a good book. Abby Gravin is a dreamer. She dreams her way through small lonely life, collecting tabloid clippings that taunt her with Elise. Once her best friend, now a Hollywood hot new starlet. When a school reunion throws Elise in the path of Abby, seizes her chance. With feverish certainty, she boards a one-way flight to become Elise's assistant. But behind Elise's glossy magazine veneer, she is drowning in LA's vicious social cycle. Even the devoted friend Abby conceals her own burning desire for greatness, for she is smarter than Elise, more talented, a true artist, and she edges closer to her own ambition. Abby can see only one way to make her dream come true. Ooh, interesting. I don't mind the sound of that one. It's a paper wasp, but I like the spine too. It's quite nice. So very nice looking book. It feels good in my hands, so that'll be a nice read. I always like a book to feel nice in my hands. All right, so we'll pop that aside and we'll open up our diamond painting one. So we are up to day 18. Pop it out. Sounds a bit different. Oh, that's so pretty. Lavender is the color today in the AB drills. It is beautiful, such a soft color. I love it. And it is 211. So they're the AB drills that I've been getting, so they've got that iridescent to them. Very nice. Very nice indeed. All right, so that is our advent for today. They are very nice. I'm happy with the book. I'm happy with my diamond painting, and I'm still giggling about the mystery one. It's been a little bit of fun. As a few people have said, it's been good giggle value. So yeah. All right, so I'm going to set these aside and then we're going to start with our sewing tutorial. Okay, so today for our sewing tutorial, we're going to need a few things. We are going to need our rotary cutter, our thread snips. We're going to also need our pins. We're going to need a quilting ruler. You don't need too big a rulers, just the main ruler you're going to need is just a square ruler so you can cut some squares out. You may need your longer ruler to cut some fabric, but you should be good. You're also going to need some background fabric, and I am just using white today. Got stuff going everywhere. As my background fabric, and you're also going to need some fabric. Now I have had this Aurora Kate Spain. Kate Spain's one of my favorite designers from Moda. I've had this for a few years now, and I've finally decided what I'm going to make with it. It's very Christmassy, okay, or wintry Christmassy. So I have got this fat quarter pack that I've been rummaging around with, and it's got lots of different pattern pieces in it, as you can see, but I've just selected these ones that are all fairly tone on tone, or they've got a little bit of a pattern on them. I've used a bit of that one as well, and some reds and greens and all the rest of it, because we are going to be making a patchwork Christmas tree today. We're going to be using half square triangles and squares, and then we'll have some rectangles for the outside to give us our whole block. So I've done a little bit of, as you can see, I've done a little bit of prep work off camera and all the rest of it. So out of our background fabric, I just had the squares, there they are. We're going to need to cut some squares to make our half square triangles, okay, because we have two half square triangles that make the top of our tree. All right, I'm pretty sure you can just probably make that out. I'll just get rid of some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, and you can see the tree there. So the top of the tree is actually two half square triangles, and then the sides of our trees are half square triangles as well. Now I'm going to be making a few of these blocks because I'm making a quilt, and all of these are going to go into the quilt, but today I am just showing you how to make the block. So you can have this as a wall hanging, you can have it as a table center, you can have it as a placemat if you want. You can make 4 of them, join them together, make a mini quilt. It's up to you. You can turn it into a cushion, whatever you want to do. I'm going to basically cut up my whole fat quarter pack, except for some of the pattern pieces. I'm going to keep them for throw cushions. So for instance, this one here, I really like the look of this one, and it's quite a large pattern, so as opposed to cutting it up, I'm just going to turn it into a nice size cushion, and that can go when I put the quilt on my bed next Christmas. If it's finished by next Christmas, hopefully it'll be quilted by then, I will be able to just have a couple of throw cushions. I like to have some throw cushions on my bed. So yeah, I'll be able to use that. And there's a couple of different sorts. I'm not too sure which ones I'm going to use yet, but that's where we're sort of at. Alright, so the first thing that you need to do is cut some background fabric, okay, and you need to cut yourself 4 3.5 inch squares, okay, and then in the colored fabric, these are for your half square triangles, you need to cut 4 colored, okay, so you'll get 2 half square triangles out of each one, and that's enough to make one block. Then you're going to need 6, so I'll just bring this over because I've already sewn them together. So I don't actually have time to make too many blocks today, so I'm just going to make the one with you. So you need to cut, you can see here we've got some just plain squares of the fabric, and they are 3 inches, and you need 6 of those. For the trunk, you need a piece that measures 2 inches in width by 3 inches. Okay, now when we get to sew the background fabric, you'll need to grab your pencil out and take down some notes, because I will have what measurements you need to cut for these outside pieces to complete our block. So for the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our background piece, and we are going to take our ruler, and we're going to mark a line on each of our background pieces from corner to corner. Okay, just like so. I use a friction pen. It doesn't matter what sort of pen you use, or if you use a pencil or anything, because we're actually going to cut on this line. So then what we're going to do, so this is on the wrong side of the fabric, we are going to get our coloured pieces with the pretty side facing up, and then we're just going to place them on top. We'll grab a pin and we'll just pin them together. I usually only just put 1 pin in. Now, the inspiration behind this quilt actually comes from Amanda Rolfe, I think her name is. She's doing a Vlogmas. She's another Australian creator, except she's doing a Christmas tree quilt, and that's where I sort of got the idea from for the Christmas tree quilt. I'm just doing a different Christmas tree than what she is. She's just actually using squares to create hers. So you can head over and check her out. I'll link her down below. I can't remember what day it was, but yeah, she's been making a couple of Christmas trees a day, and I think there's 39 little blocks in her quilt. So I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted mine more patchworky, using some half square triangles, being able to use my fat quarter pack. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and we're just going to chain stitch these through. And what we're going to do, if you've not made half square triangles like this before, okay, we're going to sew on either side of the line. Okay, and so what that means is 1/4 inch away, and I'll just mark it, that's about 1/4 inch there. That's a very skinny one, but you'll get the gist of it. So we're going to stitch either side of the line. Okay, and then once we've stitched either side of the line, we're going to cut on that solid line. Alright, so let's head over to the sewing machine and get that stitched down. Okay, so we've chain pieced that through, and now what we need to do is take all the pins out, separate our pieces. You can see there I've just chain pieced it through. Okay, and then what we'll do is we will grab our ruler and our rotary cutter, and we're just going to separate our triangles. Alright, and then what we do is we just head over to our iron, and we're going to give them a quick press, and we're going to press to the dark side as always. And we just roll that back, and we repeat for all. Alright, so once we've done that, we can set that aside. Okay, so we've done that. Now what we need to do is we need to square up each block. So I like to use my OmniGrid ruler for this, because it's got a 45-degree angle that goes from corner to corner in my 6-inch ruler. And basically all I do is I place that 45-degree angle line on the seam, and we want to square this up to 3 inches. So I can see that I can trim a little bit off each side. So I line it up, I take a little bit off, and you can see it's just a minuscule amount, and then I'll spin it around, and then I've got 2 straight edges where I just cut, and I line up my diagonal on the seam and my 3-inch mark at the bottom of my ruler here on the edge of the fabric, and the same here. Hold it in place, and then I'll just trim that off, and then we've got a nice neat square 3-inch square, and we're going to repeat that for the rest of our triangles. Alright, so we now have our 8 half square triangles, and what we do is we use them for the top and the sides of our tree. So you can see that just here. Hopefully you can see all of that in there. Might just bring that out just a little bit more. There we go. Alright, so once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to lay them out where you want them. Okay, so I might put this one here, might put that one there, put this one here, put that one there, put one here, one there. Might move that one down, move that one there, and then we've got that one there. Okay, and so you're going to lay your Christmas tree out, and then you're just going to fill it in with your 3-inch squares. Okay, so once you've done that, you're then going to sew them together, and I'll just take these out of the way. So once you've got your layout, then you're going to start at the top. You're going to sew your 2 half square triangles together, lining up your diagonals and using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then basically you'll take this half square triangle, attach it to your center one, and then you'll take this one, attach it to there, so forth and so on until you've got all your rows. Okay, once you've got all your rows sewed on, okay, we'll just take our little bits and pieces off the side. Your tree will look like that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to create our base. All right, and we want to find the center of this block here. So we're going to bring this over and fold it in half. Okay, and I'm just going to pop a pin in there so I know where it is. Okay, a very bent pin. And then this little stump, okay, and you can use whatever color. You can do them all brown, or you can just use the fabric that is in there. I'm actually going to use this star fabric throughout, and I'll probably do it with the red and the blue star fabric. Okay, I'm going to fold that in half as well, and that measures 2 inches by 3 inches, and then I'm just going to put a pin in there. Okay, and starting down the bottom here, we need 2 pieces that are going to measure 5 3/4 by 3 inches. Okay, and that's going to create the base of our block. The next row up doesn't need anything on the side because it's the same length. This one here, we need 2 pieces that measure 1 3/4 by 3 inches. The next spot here, we need 2 pieces of background fabric that will measure 2 3/4. Then right up the top of our tree, we need 2 pieces, and they're all 3 inches in height. And then up here we need a piece that is 3 3/4 by 3 inches in height. Okay, so once you've got them all cut and laid in place, we are now ready to assemble the rest of our tree. So basically I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. And I've got my design board here, so it makes it nice and easy. It's all in place where it needs to be. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this first spot here. I am going to leave that pin in there because that's just marking my center spot. And then on this side that I need to sew, I'm just going to pop a couple of pins in there. Okay, right, lining up all my raw edges. And once all my raw edges are lined up, as I said, I'll just pop a couple of pins in. And then we're going to head over to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch that down using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. We'll bring it back and then we'll grab this other piece and attach it to the other side. Okay, so once you've got that sewn on, we're going to repeat that for the rest of our strips. Okay, so just set these bottom 2 pieces aside and now head over to the sewing machine, and you're just going to add each one of these on to each end. Okay, then give it all a press and then we'll come back and then we'll sew our rows together. We've got that all sewn on, and now we need to press our piece, and I'm just going to press my pieces out away from the center, and then just do the same on the back. Make sure everything's sitting nice and flat, and then just set it down on my design board. So once you've done that, all you're going to do is you're going to head back over to the sewing machine, and you're going to find the center of this block here, and the same way we did it down below, and we just line that up, pop a pin in. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my top row, lay that on top of it. Okay, and then I'm just going to get my that center seam there and line it up with that center mark, and grab my fork pins and pop a pin in. Okay, and I'm just going to head over to the sewing machine, and basically all I'll do is I'll use a 1/4 inch seam allowance to stitch that down, and I'm just going to line up all my raw edges as well and pop a couple of pins in. Now we don't have to worry about any seams or anything over this side because none of the seams actually line up. All right, so let's head over to the sewing machine and stitch all our rows together. Once you've got that row done, you are going to do exactly what you've done here. You've got a seam to line up with that center one, and then you'll do the same on this one, and then our block is done. Now all we need to do is press our block and it's done. All right, so there we go, our little Christmas tree. Now, as I said, you could turn this into a placemat. You could have it as a little mini quilt for your sewing room. I, however, am going to continue cutting out and making half square triangles and cutting out some squares and making a large quilt. So keep an eye out on our Instagram and over on our Facebook page. All of those links you can all find down below, and I will also put all the cutting instructions down below as well. This is our block today. If you make this block, don't forget to share it with me over on Instagram, tag Darvanalee Designs Studio, and you can also join our Facebook group if you're on Facebook and share your makes over there with us. That is DD's Quilting and Crafting group, and you'll find both of those links down below, so you can come over and follow me and join the group. If you like this video today, don't forget to give us a thumbs up down below, and if you are new here or you have yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you won't miss out on any future posts. But that's it for me today, just short and sweet one. I will see you again tomorrow for day 19 of the Advent opening. Bye for now.